Cage Minds at Latrell Yee. Pulled Jalin Fuller out of practice to talk to him about Southwest MMA Series XXIX, September 28th. Long-awaited second professional fight. We saw you at the beginning of the year. A great performance at LFA. What did it mean to you getting that debut victory?
That debut victory was huge, especially on a platform as big as the LFA. You know, I guess I did something right because they did ask me back. I think for 2 potential fights, but both times the opponents had to pull out fairly early, which, you know, that's fine. But overall, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better place to make my pro debut.
It was the story as an amateur. It seems to be the story continuing as a professional. It's hard to find fights. Is that surprising?
Very, actually. I kind of was like, okay, as an amateur, maybe people will be a little bit more, you know, skittish. It's more of a hobby. Maybe they get closer to the fight and they're like, maybe I don't want to do this. As a pro, it was alarming to me that it's been 8 months since my last fight, and we've been looking. It's not like we were just sitting back, relaxing, hey, oh man, it's our time. No, like we've been hunting down fights and they just haven't come through. So.
Has there been any frustrating nothing on your part?
Nah, I used to get pretty frustrated about it, but eventually I just kind of learned, like, hey, you can't control somebody else, and what's going to happen is going to happen, you know?
Does this journey feel any different now that you're a professional instead of an amateur?
The only thing that feels different is I know there's a check at the end. That's the only thing that feels any different to me.
So it's hardships finding fights. What was the emotions like when you found out you did have an opponent for September?
You know, I was through the roof. You know, we had a fight scheduled. That one didn't come together. Then we both signed again, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Like, I was just very thankful. So I'm just grateful to be able to get in another fight before the year's over. If I'm real lucky, we can get something done in December too.
And in the last 8 months, tell me about the work you've been putting in here.
It's been constant. We've had plenty of other fighters getting ready. Jordan Espinosa, I think he's had 2 UFC fights in this calendar year. Andreas Quintana getting all that work done for Combate. You know, we've always had somebody having something coming up, so I've always been here just getting high-level work.
What do you feel have been the biggest areas of improvement that we're going to see you showcase?
Definitely control. Definitely control in all areas. There were plenty of spots where I wasted energy, where I didn't know I was wasting that energy. My first time going the full 15, you know, it became apparent to me. You know, I like to say that was my worst performance, but on my worst day, I was hit like 5 times. So, you know, I'm feeling like I need to just really learn how to better pace myself. In the middle of these fights, you know, we all come in here, everybody who trains, we come in here and we do this for hours on end. But when those emotions of a real fight get involved, that 3-hour practice that you can do in straight through becomes like, you know, 15 minutes of hell, essentially.
Taking a look at your opponent, Kemoy Anderson, a lot of guys have tried to take you down, and I almost expect that you're expecting this is going to be the same. He comes from a wrestling and 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu background. Is that what you're expecting?
That's definitely what I'm expecting. I'm expecting him, of course, to mix it up. He seems well-rounded to me, you know, but he primarily strikes me as a ground and pound kind of a fighter. Even with his extensive Jiu-Jitsu credentials, you know, he still likes to get on top of you and just kind of bang you out, essentially. So, yeah, like most fights, we're going to be looking to keep this one standing. If he wants to go down, if we get to the ground, of course, I'm well-rounded. I'm versed everywhere. I work with plenty of high-level brown and black belts myself, and, you know, I like to believe that I do fairly well. But it'd be kind of foolish of me to not keep it in my strongest area.
And what do you do to get on a roll to make this more continual?
Just all I can really do is work on me, and that's say yes when somebody comes calling, you know, and I'll continue to do so.
And with this fight coming up, do you think you'll have different feelings, that there won't be it's not the LFA, it's not the pro debut, there's not the same feel different fight night?
No, I actually expect the same amount of nerve, you know. This is big, it's close to my own backyard, just like that last one was. And overall, this is kind of one of the bigger promotions here in this area. So, you know, there's always going to be that pressure because, you know, you're going into a fist fight. You know, I don't care if it's in the bright lights of UFC or One Championship, or if you're in the backyard. You know, when you're in the real fight, you're in the real fight.
So have you always had those butterflies almost prior to fights?
Every time. And the second that I don't have them, I could be in some trouble.
Do they go away, or do they stay through the fight?
They're still there. You more so feel them like in those pauses in between all the action. That's when you're like, oh man, okay. And, you know, you get a little flutter. But you know, they're never going to be gone. But you do learn to kind of reel them in.
Through the troubles finding fights, we've seen you here for years. Why does Jalin Fuller stick to the sport?
You know, it's rare when you find something that you're really good at and you happen to love at the same time. You know, the longest break I've had in between a fight is 2.5 years, I believe, between my last amateur fight and my pro debut. But I'm still in here getting work. You know, there's always you shouldn't just be working just because you have something coming up. You know what I mean?
And you've always been able to maintain that mentality, because I know some people, you don't have a fight, or you do have the lulls, the pullouts, and that intensity, that drive to be here will wane when you're not seeing the fruits of the labor. What's the difference with you?
With me, I just believe that that the long road, it's not each and every little pit stop. It's that overall journey to get where you're trying to be. For me, I know where I want to end up, and the only way I can get there is if I am in here constantly working, even when people don't want to. Even when they're like, hey, no, let's go do this, let's go do that. I'm like, hey, man, I'm sorry, I can't. We got to get that work.
And I'm guessing the next place you want to be is in the winner's circle at Southwest MMA Series.
That would be ideal. I don't ever like to picture myself anywhere else, but, you know, you always make sure in the back of your head, you know, hey, this man's dangerous, and he can beat you. Any man can beat any other man. So, you know, the more prepared you are for that, the better you can prepare for it.
Jalin Fuller, has been great getting to talk to you. We'll let you get back to practice. Was there anybody you need to thank or shout out to?
I got to give a huge shout out to my training partners who's also fighting on this card with me, Mario Moore and Daniel Cartushin. We are looking to sweep this card and go 3-0 all the way through. But, you know, they're two of the other bigger bodies, heavyweight and another welterweight in here, and without them, I couldn't adequately prepare for any of my fights coming up. So just huge shout out to them, and my coaches, of course, Frank Gomez, Coach Chris Luttrell, Ray Yee, and my head, and Coach Thomas.